रूस ਅਤੇ यूक्रेन ਵਿਚਾਲੇ ਹਾਲਾਤ ਕਾਫੀ ਤਣਾਅਪੂਰਨ ਬਣੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ, ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਚਲਦਿਆਂ ਵਿਦੇਸ਼ੀ ਮਾਮਲਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਵੀ रूस ਅਤੇ यूक्रेन ਵਿਚਾਲੇ ਬਣੇ ਹੋਏ ਹਾਲਾਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਚਰਚਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵਿਦੇਸ਼ੀ ਮਾਮਲਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਮੇਲਾਨੀਆ ਜੋਲੀ ਨੇ ਆਖਿਆ ਕਿ यूक्रेन ਤੇ नो फ्लाई जोन ਦਾ ਸਮਰਥਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਨਾਲ रूस ਨਾਲ व्यापक टकराव शुरू हो जाएगा।
To Canadians and to the House of Commons today, obviously it was important for President Zelensky to talk to Canadians, but also to feel that we're with him and that we commend him for his courage, his resolve, and his determination. He also said that Canada was one of the strongest allies and a close friend, but we understand also that we can do more and we will do more. And so we know that he's been asking for a no-fly zone for some time now. What the Prime Minister and myself and other colleagues have said is that we don't want to trigger an international conflict, and that's why the question of the no-fly zone is a difficult one, but is one that we can't address because it would trigger an international conflict. Russia is not following any form of humanitarian corridors. They're bombing civilians even when they have said that they would be following a humanitarian corridor. Based on the negotiations they're having with Ukrainians. We know that Ukrainians are trying to bring that to the negotiation table. They're trying to bring a ceasefire as well. I've been in contact with Dmytro Kuleba, the Minister of Foreign Affairs for Ukraine, even yesterday, and I speak to him pretty much every day or every 2 days. And it is an issue. It is an issue because at the same time, since Russia is not, and more on weapons. So today we announce more individuals that would be sanctions, particularly military personnel, but we'll do more. And I had a conversation earlier today, just after President Zelensky's address, with Joseph Borrell, who is my EU counterpart. And we spoke about making sure that there are even stronger sanctions. The other thing also is obviously we need to have more weapons sent to Ukraine, sent successfully to Ukraine, and that's what we are doing. Minister Anand has been doing a great job on that, and we're coordinating also with other members of the G7 to make sure that we again are coordinated, that we work together as like-minded countries. We've shown very strong unity since the beginning of this crisis, and clearly what we've been able to show is Putin has failed. Putin has failed because his decision to invade Ukraine is clearly not only a miscalculation, but a failure on his part politically, diplomatically, economically, at every single level of decision making. He decided to invade Ukraine and thought the invasion would happen within days. That was not the case. It's been 20 days. Resistance is happening on the ground, and Ukrainians are fighting extremely well. He thought he would divide the West. Clearly, this is not happening. We've imposed sanctions like never before, and we've been having a very strong voice, making sure that we really put maximum pressure on his regime, and we will continue until we're able to win this fight and are happening. So clearly there are negotiations happening, but as I mentioned earlier in the interview, it is important for Ukrainians to be in a strong position while negotiating. On the question of NATO for itself, Canada's position has remained the same. In 2008, we said we were in favor of not only of the open door policy, but also of Ukraine joining NATO, and our position has not changed. It is a question between freedom and tyranny. It is a question between truth and falsehood. It is an existential question for the international order. Now, Canada has played its role to support one of its best friends, which is Ukraine, because of our people-to-people ties, because of our common history, but because it was the right thing to do. And we'll continue to work with our G7 countries partners, because we all know that Canada is not a nuclear power, it is not a military power, we're a middle-sized power, and what we're good at is convening and making sure that diplomacy is happening, and meanwhile convincing other countries to do more and to be part of this important mission of really doing the right thing for the right reason.